Big Ten time.
Oh, baby, I knew it.
Hey, styling profiling.
Man, I was only thing I wake up for is first in the Big Ten, baby. So how was your weekend?
You better be up.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was interesting. What, you gonna go back to sleep?
No, I was listening.
Well, I just said it was.
I'm listening, man. Go ahead.
All right. I had a couple things happen the weekend. This guy. I mean, it's all right. It's my show anyway, right?
That's right.
So it don't matter. I had a parade Saturday for the Boy Scouts. My son was in a parade.
Boy Scouts, yeah.
Yeah, Pack 33. But you don't, as a Denley, you don't understand how much hard it is to keep kids just in line in a parade. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But they did a good job.
You know how hard it is? It's as hard as keeping kids in line in the parade. That's how hard keeping kids in line.
Great analysis.
Can't put it no simpler than that.
My son had to sell popcorn. He's a great salesman, going table to table.
Popcorn, yeah.
Great, better than I could.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was my wife's birthday. My beautiful wife, Autumn. Happy birthday.
Autumn, you're the best. You could have done better, but hey, we all make mistakes.
She's my better half. It's all right, but this guy knows what I'm talking about too. He's in the same boat.
She's the better whole, not the half. Like, she's not the better half. She's the better whole. Right.
Fair enough. We don't have to go into details. Yeah. But I did squeeze in the Wisconsin-Michigan State game in between going out to dinner and watching Conjuring 2, which is creepy. I'd highly recommend it. Not as good as the first. But anyway, so I did watch that, but I had to move all my games. My DVR was working overtime all Saturday. My Sunday was college football. I didn't watch hardly any NFL. It was all college football all day. That's how I got caught up. I'm starting to get used to that. I'm pulling that out that way, but that was my interesting Saturday.
Well, thanks for asking. My weekend was a lot better. I actually didn't get to watch much college football.
I really don't care, but for show purposes, we'll let you talk too.
I didn't get to watch much college football either myself, besides maybe the Wisconsin game. I caught a couple of highlights of some other games because I was in Indianapolis watching my Colts beat up on the San Diego Chargers in support of the Buckeyes that played in the game. Joey Bosa didn't play because he was hurt, but you still got Moore, who was a lineman for the Buckeyes. There was somebody else that played in the Big Ten that played in that game too. So it was like 3 or 4 Big Ten players in that game. So I was there in support of the Big Ten / my NFL team, Indianapolis Colts, baby.
Nothing to do with the Big Ten.
It had everything to do with the Big Ten because they got Buckeyes.
Supporting his bum team in Indianapolis.
1-2, baby.
Not even the best team in Indianapolis. That would be the Pacers, but I digress. It's not important.
Pacers are horrible. They haven't been good since Travis Best left.
Well, speaking of Indiana,
yeah.
What do you want to talk about? The actual team that in the Big Ten, the Hoosiers. What'd you think about the Hoosiers?
Well, I didn't get a chance to watch the game. Like I said, I was taking in the festivities. I was enjoying the scenes. But I did look at the stats and the stuff. Some of the things that jumped out to me the most were passing yards, some receiving yards, and then just the overall score. So I'm going to start with my man Ricky Jones. I seen he had 8 catches, 208 yards. Amazing. That's a great game. It was a breakout game considering before that he had 3 catches for 18 yards. So he stepped up. He played big. Quarterback played. Richard Legault, he had 28 for 47, 496 yards, which on any other day would be impressive, except when you throw 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions.
He did broke the school record for passing yards, but on the other side of that, they had 5 turnovers. Right. And I don't know. They always say turnovers kill, and we had a lot of hype.
It's a 5-point game. You had 5 turnovers.
We had a lot of feeling pretty good about this Indiana team, especially how their defense jumped out this season, which is always the problem.
He had 4 touchdowns? He didn't have an interception all season.
Yeah, the defense has carried him, and now the offense is starting to catch up. Well, which we thought Legault and that offense with Devon Redding and these guys would catch up, because we knew they had talent, and now they're starting to. And they did everything they were supposed to on Saturday, except you can't turn the ball over. They had a blocked field goal, a 55-yard interception return for a touchdown. You're not going to win a game and turn the ball 5 times. They outgained them by about 300 yards and lost. So, I mean, I think this Indiana team has potential if they can take care of the ball. They're still going to be a team that's going to scare Ohio State, Michigan State. They're capable of giving them games.
Yeah, they can move the ball around.
They can move the ball, and their defense, I think, is better. But they had to win that game. I think they're a better team than Wake Forest. But when you turn the ball over, it equalizes stuff, and they lost by 5 points.
1-possession game. You keep 2 of those possessions, you got 2 shots and winning. You lose by 5 with 5 interceptions. So.
But we've seen Purdue do the same thing. But I mean. I still think this can be a good team and a good year for Indiana, but it's a bad day for them. It happens, but
you see their schedule coming up, man. These are their next 3 games. They They got a Michigan State, then they got Ohio State, then they got Nebraska as the next 3 games. So
that Michigan State Indiana game was was interesting last year, and
Right.
coming off a loss, I don't know what Michigan State's going to be like, but that could be interesting. But speaking of Michigan State, that was the big game of the weekend, top 10 matchup, and it did not turn out how we thought it would.
It wasn't a top 10 worthy matchup.
No, it was,
one of them looked like they
it
deserved
was
to beat
Wisconsin
them,
beatdown.
Right.
It was 30. They lost 30-6. The one thing that surprised me in the game, I'm really happy with the way Wisconsin's been playing defense. I thought they might have a drop off when their coordinator went to LSU,
Nah.
but Michigan State looked so good running the ball with the two-header monster with Holmes and Scott, and they came in and they only managed 75 yards rushing,
75
which
total
shocked
yards,
me.
man. They averaged 2.8 yards to carry, man.
Yeah,
Scott had 14 carries, 61 yards. So he had 61 of the 75 yards, man. That's terrible. Even though he only averaged 4.4 yards a game, as a team, they got 2.8 yards a game, man. That's terrible. O'Connor had 224 passing yards, but he threw 3 interceptions, man. Like, they didn't come prepared. They got out-muscled at the line of scrimmage. They couldn't run the ball. They had trouble protecting
yeah, and that
all
was
night.
in the trenches. We knew whoever won the game in the trenches would win. And Alan Holabrook came in, and his first start as a freshman, played in East Lansing, and he looked like he was under control all day. They didn't really get after him as much as I thought they'd be able to.
That was kind of weird to me, but
And the big turning point in the game. It was a close game until LJ Scott got the ball knocked out, and Leo Musso picked it up, hit the B button, whether you play Xbox,
Hey.
the O button on the PS4, put the spin move on Tyler O'Connor, and took it straight to the house for a Wisconsin touchdown. And after that, the third quarter was owned by Wisconsin. They had a bobbled punt, ended up turning that into points.
They scored 17 in the third, so that was
17 to nothing in the third. That was the turning point in the game for me. They just dominated the third quarter, and then after that, Michigan State was playing catch up. They took them out of what they wanted to do. O'Connor didn't have a bad day. He's going to continue to get better, but I mean, Wisconsin just beat him in the trenches, beat him in time of possession, just beat him all around. And I didn't think I thought it'd be a lot closer game than that. But I mean, we've been talking about Wisconsin. They need the respect,
Right.
and they had that one game against Georgia State, but they're continually looking better and better.
Yeah,
I mean, they got a nasty schedule coming up with Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, Nebraska, but we kind of know what Nebraska or Wisconsin is. We just got to see can they handle that gauntlet that they're going to be coming on. But they handled it Saturday against Michigan State. They dominated. They're clearly the better team.
But the good thing for Michigan State is it'll be just like last season. You win out, you'll win your side division. You can make it to the Big Ten title game.
Yeah, I think Michigan State's better than that 30-6 loss. But you know, I mean, they got Indiana this week, and don't come in there halfway ready to play against Indiana, or you're going to go home with another loss. Period. Because Indiana can't score.
They got a favorable schedule going down the line. They got BYU, Northwestern, Maryland. They got to play Michigan, which is going to be a tough game. Then Illinois, Rutgers, Ohio State, and Penn State. So if they can beat Ohio State and Michigan this year like they did last year,
yeah, I mean,
they should be able to win it. They got to come to play, though, man.
Yeah, everything they want. That's why I don't overreact too much on one game. Everything they wanted to accomplish this season is still there. I mean, they still control their own destiny. But, I mean, Wisconsin, they got a gauntlet the next couple of weeks. But I'm impressed. Wisconsin's been taking care of business. And
Wisconsin look good, man. They got
I wasn't sure.
I ain't gonna say they got LSU's coach fired, but they're part of the reason why.
It was part of it.
Why Les Miles is
I
gone,
was
man.
surprised about benching Bart Houston for the freshman, but clearly he went at East Lansing and was comfortable all game. The defense, T.J. Watt gets after it. I'm pumped to see that game this weekend. But it was just a pure domination in Wisconsin.
Man.
It was a great game. It was a great game for them.
Michigan State, you might want to take a seat, get in the back of the line.
Right back there. Well, no, I won't go to the back
We'll let
that
Wisconsin stand alone in the front because they did their job.
They earned it because right now they got 2 top 10 victories. Nobody else in the Big Ten can say that, or in the country. So
nobody in the country can say that. That's the thing, though, man.
I mean, they deserve to be higher than what they are.
Michigan
regardless
State
of what
probably
happens
shouldn't
this
have been that
weekend.
high in the first place, though, man. They didn't look impressive week 2. They came out against Notre Dame.
I mean, they
excited,
what we thought Notre Dame now coming in, they don't look as impressive now with them
Right.
losing to Duke, but the way they dominated and surprised us when how they beat Notre Dame, I mean, I think they deserve to be where they're at because they didn't. It's not like they started in the top 10. They were back in the 13 to 14 range, and they moved up because they beat somebody. But
it'll turn out to be nobody's, but we'll take
yeah,
it.
it's still early. We don't know who anybody is, but Wisconsin, they're taking care of what the
We know
games
my
are supposed
Buckeyes
to.
number 2, baby. We know that they should be number 1. We need to check the electoral votes because I think they're cheating somehow, even though I don't think they do electoral votes.
We'll find out
in
when
college
Wisconsin and Ohio
football.
State play each other. But as of right now, I think Wisconsin should be the highest rated Big Ten team just based off who they've beaten.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like I'm not saying they're going to be the best team, but right now they earned their spot. But like I said, it doesn't matter. They're all going to play each other. Everything's going to play itself out. But it would have been nice if that big marquee game was better. Hopefully this weekend's marquee game will be a lot closer game. I think it will, but we'll see. Where do you want to go from here?
Who's playing this week?
The big game this week is going to be Michigan and Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got another tough game.
Get Michigan up there. Get them a shot.
They deserve it.
Get them a shot at the big boys of Wisconsin, the Big Ten's best so far. So
Right.
I don't know where we at. That's about a good point. We're going to stop right there. Take it to halftime. I'm going to take a nap again because nobody listens to him anyway. You guys tune
Probably
in.
needs a nap. I mean,
You
he can
guys
take a
tune in
nap.
and watch
I carry
me.
the show. It doesn't matter.
We can talk about the Colts because they're great. They're America's football team. That's why I went there.
Let's just go to halftime. You're ruining the show right now. We don't want no Colts talk. We don't need to talk about that.
Halftime.
What's up, everybody? Time for another halftime report. Last week I dropped you some Hayden Fry knowledge. I hope you got the book, everybody. It's worth it. Exactly. Hayden Fry, the wise man. All right, anyway. This week we're going to talk a little bit off topic, not necessarily Big Ten related, but I don't know about you. I know every year, up until a couple years, it got taken away from us. My favorite point, other than the start of college football season, was right around July, when my favorite game, NCAA football, came out every year. There's not a game I look forward to more than NCAA football. I don't care if all we gave was a little bit of a roster update and they didn't really add much. It doesn't matter. I'll still drop the $60 and I'll drop it tomorrow. And no matter how many times I downloaded the updated rosters every year with the 2013 game, but it just ain't the same. I mean, when you go play in the new Madden and then you try to play the old NCAA football, it doesn't work out. The graphics are too far off. I love college football, but we need a new game. And since EA is not going to obviously make one, we're still waiting for a college basketball game, and they can't even keep the network open for that so we can update rosters. It's just EA, I guess. That's what they are. That's why they're one of the worst companies. They're not making a game. 2K ain't making a game. I don't know why nobody's making a game. There's a ways around it. But there are some guys down south that are trying to make a game, and they're from IMV Gaming. Go online, check it out. They got a Kickstarter campaign to make a new game. It's going to take a couple years, but they need to raise some money just to get some people on board, get the ball rolling, work their way around. They can get around the license, but that's the biggest thing is the licensing. People don't realize how much it is to license just to get the right to one team. Ohio State and Alabama, you're looking at over $300,000 just to get the licensing rights for that team. A lot of people don't realize that's a big hurdle you got to get over. So they're trying to get help from everybody. They got a Kickstarter campaign. It started a few weeks ago. It runs through October 31st. And their new game, the tentative title right now is going to be Gridiron Champions. But it's going to be a couple years down the road. But they want to collect some money just to get the ball rolling. You guys should just throw a little money their way. I know I want the game. I know there's a lot of people out there waiting for this game. Just give them a follow on Twitter, Facebook, or just go to the Kickstarter website. Throw them a little money their way. And maybe in a couple years we'll have a new game. I know I've missed it. I know a lot of people have missed it. There's nothing like NCAA football. It just makes the college football season that much better. And just that last couple months building up to the season was nothing like having a football game to play to hold us over. So maybe a couple years we'll get that. Luckily we'll get that game back again. And guys, just go out, support it, and then maybe it'll happen. That's all I got for this week's halftime report. I'm out here. Support the Kickstarter campaign. They need you. Dick at halftime. Woo! That's all, man. We don't need him anyway.
That halftime show is the most boringest thing I've ever seen in my life. Where's the handsome guy?
We have the halftime show every week, so you're not on there.
You did a halftime show about petition. Let's petition to get me back on the halftime show. All right. I bring. You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
Keep going.
Let's talk about some more football, college football.
Let's go Rutgers, Iowa. We ended the show talking about Rutgers, Iowa. Your team, Rutgers.
Iowa, baby.
Iowa.
You had Rutgers. I had Iowa.
Sure,
I never lose. All right. Where's my helmet?
To be honest, though, I would gloat that Iowa won, but I watched that game, and I was actually more impressed with Rutgers than I was Iowa.
Oh, well, take this.
I don't want it.
I was in Indianapolis watching the greatest football team, America's team, the Colts. So I didn't get a chance to watch this game. I seen the score.
The
Rutgers
Colts are
lost
America's
14.
team.
Yes.
I don't want to be in America.
I'm voting for Trump. because he's going to kick anybody who's not a Colts fan out of America.
Sounds like something. He probably says that in Indianapolis, I'm sure. It does sound like something he would say.
That's my dude.
But to the game actually that actually happened on Saturday, I was shocked. I thought Iowa, they came out and tried to attack that secondary, which is vulnerable, but they got nothing out of it. What I'm seeing from Iowa is they're still searching for that deep threat, and Jermaine Smith's that guy at times, but Vandenberg can't do everything. And they attacked, and that defense got all over them, got to their quarterback, and Beathard wasn't comfortable all game. They didn't dominate rushing the ball. And if Janoran Grant had that 79-yard reception, which he did most of the work, he caught a short pass, weaving it out of the defense, almost took it to the house, and he got tackled short of the goal line, got carted off with an ankle injury, and they didn't convert any points. I thought without him in there, they were done. But their defense kept them in the game. They battled. I was impressed with the fight they had against Iowa because Iowa still didn't take advantage of it up until because either team had a turnover that whole game. It was a clean game, a tough-fought game, and they had that one fumble late in the game where the guy got knocked out of his hands. And then while they ran in for a 26-yard touchdown. But other than that, Iowa didn't do anything in that game to show they were the better team. I was more impressed with the way Rutgers' defense came out. Because normally they'll come out and
I didn't get a chance to watch it, man. So because I was out of town, I'm gonna go back and watch it today because I did DVR.
It was a great game.
It sounded like it was a good game. I see that you got wrote down that Rutgers outgained Iowa, but one turnover cost them all the momentum.
Yeah, because usually we've seen Rutgers this year. They dig themselves a hole, then Janoran Grant gets them out of it. But they didn't really do that this game. It was 7-7 up until late in the game. And even without Janoran Grant, who was their Mr. Everything, and he's actually out for the season, which is horrible because I love watching that guy play. He did everything for him. But
Iowa might be in trouble,
I was impressed with them.
Rutgers, we have been following them. They are a much improved team this year than they were last year. But if Iowa only beat them by 7 after they lost to North Dakota State.
I'm really worried about their defense made a good stop at the end of the game. But other than that, I'm worried about their offense. Their offense isn't as explosive as I thought it was going to be going into the season. Other than the Iowa State game, I mean, what have they really done? I mean, they didn't dominate in the trenches against North Dakota State. They didn't dominate in the trenches against Rutgers. It's not getting any easier. I mean, they got
this is the race
Northwestern this week, and Northwestern's playing better ball now. So I mean,
this is a race we thought would be 4 or 5 deep, man. Iowa's starting to slide themselves to the back of the pack with their play, even though they did win, man. Like
they're just not. They're not the same team I thought they were going to be. It could change, but right now they're not physically dominating people. And the other team in that conference, that side was Minnesota, who I was impressed with a lot of things they did. They didn't have a tough game, but I just like Leidner came out. He ran the ball well. Was comfortable all game, but Tavion Devers is one of my favorite players in college football. He's young, he's raw, but he's got a great burst off the edge, and he had one of the best hits of the game when he nailed the quarterback and his helmet popped off. That guy's a beast. And they got a nice 1-2 punch with Rodney Smith and Shannon Brooks. They both run hard.
Ohio State
Minnesota.
Ohio State has only beasts in the conference because I got on the shirt. So Ohio State. Greatest team ever. Speaking of Ohio State, since you mentioned it, top 25 polls are out. My Buckeyes, your Buckeyes, number 2 in the country.
Obviously.
TTUN, for some of you guys who aren't from the central Ohio area, that's that team up north. That's what TTUN means.
Speaking of that team up north, did you catch any of the Minnesota game? Or the Penn State game?
TTUN.
Did you catch any of that team up north versus Penn State on Saturday?
TTUN.
Dominated. Penn State had a -7 yards at halftime.
I don't like them.
I don't have to like them, but their defense, as soon as they got Jordan Lewis, I told you, as soon as they got Jordan Lewis, Taco Charlton down, their defense is going to be back to what they were.
TTUN, baby.
-7 yards at halftime. -7 yards at halftime. I mean, that's hard to do against anybody.
If you take 0 yards and you take 7 away, that's almost the same thing as -7 yards.
-7 yards. They dominated that game.
They look good, man. I seen the highlights from that game, dog.
Penn State's got ridiculous. They already got 3 linebackers out. They lost 2 more guys. One of them was a targeting penalty, which is one of the worst targeting penalties I've seen. He was diving for an interception. Their helmets touched, and they okay, you want to give him the penalty, that's one thing, but don't throw a guy out of the game when you know he wasn't trying to hurt anybody.
You know it was an accident.
He was diving for an interception. I mean, it wasn't intentional, obviously, but it's so all over the place with these targeting penalties. It makes me sick. I understand they're making them safe, and I get that, But if you see on the replay, he isn't lowering his head,
It wasn't
using the crown of his
intentional.
helmet as a weapon,
Right.
then he shouldn't be thrown out. You want to keep the penalty? Okay, fine, whatever. But don't throw a guy out when he's not. He's just going for an
I
interception.
think what
He's
they
making a
should-
play on the damn ball. is
What they
he's
should
doing.
do, there should be different levels of a targeting. One of them should be like, you know how you got, what is the one? I know it's face mask is 15. What's the other one they got where like you just grab a helmet or something? I know it's like a lesser penalty. Or is that the NFL? I know one of them got like variations of a penalty. Like they should do that with the targeting rule. Like if you both are diving for the ball like that play, it should be a 5-yard penalty first down, not 15 yards.
No, I mean,
They should have two severe levels.
it shouldn't
to
be
it.
like this or the extreme. There should be
Right.
something in between because you're talking about kicking players out. If they ain't literally trying to hurt someone, and you
Right.
could see that you can't always tell that, but most of the time you could tell if he's lowering his head before he even gets
Right.
there and is trying to knock the guy out.
These kids only guaranteed 48 games on
You're
their career.
kicking a
man.
guy out of
You're
the
taking
game.
for
But
an
it's-
accidental head touch.
Yeah, it
man.
was
That's
horrible. But as far as Michigan, they had like 3-4 different running backs dominated.
That's too much Michigan, man.
326
Let's go.
yards
All right, we're
rushing.
going to go to Wisconsin. All right, Wisconsin.
They got a big
I'm ready.
game this week. They're
Wisconsin,
looking
I'm
good.
ready, baby. Let's go. I don't like Michigan no more. So I never liked them, but I don't want to talk about them. Wisconsin,
Big Ten.
we got Nebraska at 15.
Who's making a run? They had a nice win over the weekend against Northwestern. Tommy Armstrong,
Nebraska's
the guy
a
we've been
surprise
talking
team,
about,
man. Hey,
he's been looking good.
what do you do this
Stats.
weekend? Tell you, man, I missed it. I was in Indianapolis. I was
Just
having a great
246
time.
yards passing,
Oh, is that it?
132 yards rushing, no turnovers.
Who
The
hasn't
only-
done that?
The only turnovers they had actually was, which this game was 24-13, but Nebraska they dominated the game. But when you got two guys on their way into the end zone, one guy putting the ball out, and two fumbles into the end zone for touchbacks, two of them going in for touchdowns. They're lucky they were able to pull together, which they did, and they won the game. But you do that in a big game against another team who's equally as talented as you or is
Right.
playing as good as you, you're not going to win that game. I know
Yeah.
these guys, Newbie, Nick Zigbel, they don't normally do this. They got another guy who's came up, Wilbon. They got three guys that are running the ball well, but they pulled that through. Tommy Armstrong didn't make any mistakes, which he's just getting more and more mature and comfortable in that offense.
I like that kid.
I'm like Sewell. He's looking
like
good. Their team's gelling.
Yeah.
They're able to get a tough win game, which I want to say was a tough road game. But
Two-run race over here. Get off
if
here.
you've seen the game, I couldn't. I looked in the stands. There was more red than there was purple in the stands. It was a Nebraska home game basically, so it wasn't like it was a tough road game. It was a primetime game in Illinois with Nebraska's fans there. It was crazy,
Yeah,
but
Nebraska fans, they got something to be excited for. This is a
They
good year to
definitely
follow
do.
them. They are making a run. They're
It's like-
they're going under the radar, which is kind of good for them. Not too many expectations.
they got plenty of chances to get them big games. But they had that win over Oregon. But I know you're having a tough start to the season, Northwestern, but you can't show up for a primetime game. At least have more fans in there than Nebraska. It was pathetic.
I mean,
But
probably because the
it is
fans.
what it is.
Probably because the fans ain't doing what we're doing. They're probably looking at the record saying 1-2. Oh, we suck. We don't have a chance. But if they wouldn't have watched the first couple games, they could have been 3-0. It should have been two undefeated teams facing each other this weekend, man. But
Yeah. I mean, they are playing better now offensively. but
fans, you got to support your
two
team, man.
couple weeks late. But, I mean, you can still turn the season around, play spoiler. But they're playing better. Thorson's playing better. But Nebraska was clearly the better team. They just made some bonehead plays.
These week's games, we got Wisconsin, Michigan,
That's the
Northwestern,
game.
Iowa, Rutgers, Ohio State, Purdue,
The
Maryland,
game this weekend.
Illinois, Nebraska, Minnesota, Penn State, Michigan State, Indiana.
We'll start off from bottom to the top. Michigan State, Indiana.
Nah,
That could be an interesting game. The way Indiana, if they don't turn the ball over 5 times, this could be a close game because they could score points.
that's not a defense you want to get a ball to 5 times, even though they ain't looking
No,
as good.
if you give the ball 5 times to Michigan State, it's going to be ugly.
It's
But
over.
if they don't turn the ball over, this could be a close game. Especially Michigan State better come out ready to score some points because Indiana's defense has definitely improved from last year. This could be a decent game. I mean, I still think Michigan State will win, but it's going to be giving everything they got to win this game because Indiana's improved. Yeah, Minnesota, Penn State. Penn State needs a victory bad right now, and I don't
Definitely.
think it's coming this week. Even though it's a Happy Valley,
Minnesota, Abraham Hamilton.
Minnesota's going to win. I like the way Minnesota's playing, flying around on defense. Penn State they got so many injuries. They're still learning their way along in the offense. They're not running the ball particularly strong. I like Minnesota in that game. I like the way they're playing right now.
We already just talked about Nebraska. We know who you feel
I don't
about
see
that.
Illinois going into Lincoln and winning that game. Nebraska's playing tough. And they beat them last year, so anything's possible. But
Maryland and Purdue. How you think about that? That's gonna be a good game.
I like Purdue.
I like
had a
Purdue.
tough game this week. David Blau's putting up big yards.
Yeah, with
he's
300
turned the ball
yards,
over.
yeah.
Yeah, he's putting up yards. Their offense is looking good with him and Markel Jones, but he had some turnovers. But I'm interested to see how Maryland comes back after that close win against UCF. They got some weapons on offense. It's going to be interesting. I don't see either of these teams too far away from each other. I like Maryland at home, but they got to be ready to play. They got to come out and play better than they did against UCF.
David B looked good. He had, 300 yards, completed 70% of his passes. That's his only problem, man. He's had a turnover in every game.
Yeah.
If he could stop turning the ball over, man, that offense would be so much.
I don't think it's going to start this weekend at Maryland. I think he's just turnover prone, and I think Perry Hill's in that offense and his weapons, they're going to be enough. I think they'll probably win by 14 points.
Won the first game, I think 3 the second game, won this game. He got to cut that down, man.
I mean, 5 against Cincinnati.
I mean, he had 5. That's what he had against Cincinnati.
And that was at home. Now they're going to Maryland, so I like Maryland in that game. They turn the ball over too much.
He won't turn the ball over his game. Hey, that's our game of the week. Maryland, I'm taking Purdue. You can have Maryland. Unless Maryland wins, then I want Maryland.
I'll give you Purdue. I'll take Maryland. That's our game.
There it is.
I'm always right. I'll be right next week, too. It's all good. I mean, I'm used to it. Never gets old.
Right.
Never gets old.
Ohio State, Rutgers, we already know.
Janorian Green in there.
The shoe has a jump in. The shoe going to have a jump in this
No
weekend.
more playmaker. They don't have another playmaker. Ohio State's off a bye week, fresh, ready to go. KJ Hill's out for a couple weeks, but they still got plenty of weapons. I'm going to see how they come off. See if their head got too big. I want to see if they come out and put the pedal to the metal and take Rutgers out quick.
Yeah, I think we already
they're on top of the world right now.
Talked about the Iowa Northwestern. Who you won that? You can have Iowa. Give me Northwestern.
I still like in Kinnick Stadium, Iowa's going to be ready.
Give me Northwestern.
It's going to be a good game,
Take
though.
Northwestern.
I haven't seen anything to show me that Iowa's going to dominate them because they haven't done that this year. I think it's still going to be a decent game, and I'd still watch out if I'm Iowa.
Northwestern, I'm counting on you. I'm picking you over Iowa. All right, don't let me down. Even though you're on the road.
If Iowa comes out and comes in thinking they're just going to stroll in there and win, I don't think they will. Northwestern's going to beat them because Northwestern is playing better now. But that's going to be a tough game. I still like Iowa, but
Michigan, Wisconsin.
It's not going to be easy.
Michigan,
the game of the week.
The game of the week.
You got the #1 rush
Let's get
defense.
him a little space right here, man. Let's get him a little space.
It's one of the top rushing offenses with all the running backs they got right now. It's going to be a tough game.
There we go. Do it like that. Who else playing this week?
Wisconsin's only giving up 118 yards a game, points a game. Michigan's averaging 52 points a game. Something's got to give.
Well, my boy Zach. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game.
Baby,
It's going to be all about the defenses in that game.
All right,
but Wisconsin's got a tough defense. Michigan's got a tough defense. I want to see how both the quarterbacks react.
This is going to be the best test for both of them, man.
Definitely. They're both Hornibrook and Spite. We'll see how they are because Spite was comfortable this week. He didn't get a lot of pressure on him. That's going to change this week. And Michigan State didn't get as much pressure on Hornibrook as I thought. But Michigan's going to get pressure on him.
And Hornibrook, he really wasn't that phenomenal. I think he only had 194 or 6
I mean,
yards.
he was just comfortable.
He was solid.
He didn't look like it was his first road game.
Right.
Both these quarterbacks are going to be tested this week. They're going to be pressured. I want to see how they react. They both similar. They both were going to be able to run the football. They're both stout against the run.
Definitely.
Michigan's really good against with Jordan Lewis back. Their pass defense is going to be really improved.
They're going to put the blitz on Hornibrook.
Taco Charlton and Jordan Lewis come back, just made that defense look a lot better. And then Wisconsin just been crazy all year. I want to see how them quarterbacks react. They're going to get pressured a lot.
It's going to be all about how Wisconsin picks up the blitz because Michigan's going to send it at you from every angle.
They're going to send pressure
all game long. They're not going to stop.
It's going to be a great game.
They're going to have to scheme and design around that blitz. So.
Who do you like in that game?
Don't ask me this on camera.
It's in Ann Arbor.
Don't ask me this on camera.
You got to pick. Make your pick. It's a game of the week.
I hate Michigan.
Don't be chicken. I don't care. You got to pick who you think's going to win.
Only because the quarterback's still kind of young. He looks solid, but like you said, it's going to be a whole. He won't be as relaxed this game.
It's hard to tell, and they're probably not going to be the beneficiary of them turnovers they got last week. So
on the road, they're going to blitz the hell out of them. The crowd's going to be 110,000 people there. It's a lot to ask for this dude this early in his career, man. So
I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Michigan's going to win that game too. If it was in Wisconsin and Camp Randall at night, I might feel a little differently, but I just don't know if they're going to bring enough offensively to win that game. I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Michigan's got a few more weapons than Wisconsin, but we'll see. I mean, Wisconsin's proved us wrong before.
They had LSU, then they had
It's brutal.
Michigan State, and this is what, week 4?
They got
week
Michigan,
5?
and then they finally get their bye
Hey.
week. Then they got Ohio State, Iowa, Nebraska. It don't get any. It's just
I
it's
can't
not
see
gonna
them.
stop.
I can't see them winning all of those.
No, they're gonna lose one, and maybe it'll be this weekend.
They're on the road. It's gonna be.
It's just gonna be an evenly matched game. These two teams are gonna hit each other back. It's gonna be a tough matchup. I think it's gonna be a great game. Definitely better than last week's was. I don't see it being a blowout either way.
So,
It's gonna be fun.
well, that's about all the time we got for this week. Follow us, subscribe. It's really him 614.
Leland 5150, the star of the show, brother.
He's gonna get fired, so you probably guys might want to say goodbye to
The
him.
show
now.
will be canceled, of course.
Then we'll rehire him because we'll have an opening. So, first in the Big Ten. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow us, subscribe, like
Michigan,
it.
game of the week.
Send us some money. We'll wear your team shirt. Send us some money. We'll probably,
Yeah, I need a new
unless you're
shirt.
Michigan, we won't buy your team
Didn't do me
shirt.
much. Iowa hadn't been putting it together.
These guys in love with Iowa for some reason. They're terrible. Ever since he started showing them love, they've been losing. So.
Hayden Fry, I'm growing a mustache just like Hayden Fry.